So I wonder, I was curious what's been showing up since we met last. I know we did that ritual and a little bit of that experience to check in and see what's been showing up since then.
I have things have been good, honestly, like within me. Yeah, I felt
Okay.
um I have felt, I mean, it's been 3 weeks since we met. I mean, truly, I don't think there have I've been like way more connected with myself, and I don't feel like I've slipped into like a place where I've been kind of like in that downward spiral. Like everything's been pretty consistently even keel.
And what is that? What is that creating for you by having more consistency, being more connected with yourself, and having more of that even keel?
What does that create for me?
Yeah, what have you noticed that's creating for you?
I think just a more consistent connection. Wait, sorry, I'm going to shut this door. Um, I think more consistent connection, which keeps me from feeling like I've lost myself in everything that I'm doing. And I've recognized that it's not that things have necessarily, I mean, things are less chaotic since the kids are all in school, but it's not like there hasn't been chaos over the last 3 weeks. I mean, moving my son to Iowa and everything was really a challenge, but um, and even during that day, like when I moved him to Iowa, I mean, there were moments because things were not working in our favor where I really was like wanting to cry, and like just checking in with myself and like being aware of how I was feeling and like that I was starting to feel like really stressed or overwhelmed or oh my gosh, like if it was two adults doing it, it would be like quicker and easier and that sort of thing. But I think it's like it's just a habit to kind of forget myself, but when I don't, then I feel better. And like I've shown it to myself,
Yeah.
when I prioritize like even yeah, spending like a few moments on myself, then I just feel like it's easier to keep myself from like totally feeling overwhelmed or just kind of like losing it.
Hmm. So I just want to celebrate this with you. This is huge.
Mhm.
Like you being more consistent with prioritizing yourself and staying connected to yourself. Can you still hear me? I didn't know because oh yeah, I was frozen for a moment.
Yes.
That's really big because you said it's a habit to forget about myself. You've been doing that for your whole lifetime.
Mhm.
So what do you think what's it going to cost you if you stop connecting to yourself? If you stop this consistency with making yourself a priority?
I mean, it would just quickly lead back to the same place that I've been in, the same place that I've been functioning in, which is
Okay.
like oftentimes feeling like a bit hopeless and just like really lonely. And I don't want to like live and function in that place
Yeah.
because I can function in that. I mean, I'm used to functioning in that, but I don't want to anymore.
Right. And is there anything that you need to continue to support you to remain consistent with making yourself a priority and connecting to yourself utilizing the muse method?
Is there anything? Oh, wait, sorry. Can you say that again?
Yeah. Is there any other support you need to maintain that consistency?
Hmm. I don't think so. I mean, I feel like the support with meeting with you and using that as like an avenue to talk through the issues that have come up, but also like figure out how to incorporate all like the
Mhm.
strategies and things we've talked about into my life, but then just as a reminder to like keep doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've got like the tools from meeting with you, but yeah, just
Hmm.
continuing to implement them.
And you are. That's what we're celebrating is you're remaining consistent. Like, would you say you've been doing it pretty consistently 3 times a day, even if it's only like 10 seconds 3 times a day?
Mhm. Mhm.
And is there days like when you were moving your son into college where you needed to do it more and were you able to?
Mhm.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You were able to be with the hard feelings and the grief that was there. Man, this would be much easier if there was a second parent
Mhm.
because that's real.
Mhm.
Not denying it anymore. You're not shoving it down. You're giving it space to be there and then still taking the action you need to take.
Mhm.
So, like, to me, this is all I'm asking too, because this is more evidence for your brain. You now know you've had more 3 weeks of being more consistent with it, that you're way more connected and you don't lose yourself. You don't forget about yourself. You're feeling more, what I heard you say, and you please correct me. What I heard you say is you're feeling more like a priority now.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's totally true.
And there,
To
yeah, go
it's
ahead.
kind
Sorry.
of oh, no, I was gonna say it's kinda like when people, like, take medication and then they start to feel good and then they say, like, "Oh, I don't need to take it anymore, I'm feeling better." Like, that's I feel like my pattern, right? Like, I, like, start to feel
Right.
better and then I kind of forget to keep doing what I've been doing to make sure that
Right.
I feel
Right.
good.
And I love your awareness of that. That like you're feeling good and you're like, I don't need it anymore.
Mhm.
Because you had that, like we were working together and then the summertime we went to less frequently and you weren't as consistent. So you had this summer to experience, holy shit, when I am not connected to myself and I forget all about me. And the kids don't even care. They don't even make me a priority.
Mhm.
They're like, yeah, mom's got it. She's gonna do it all.
Mhm.
But now you've even in the last 3 weeks you've maintained consistency with it and you're feeling like you're a priority and you're not as lonely and
Mhm.
like it's helping the feelings to be more level, even
Mhm.
keel, like you said.
Mhm. Yeah. And I was even like yesterday, so the kids are all back in school, and yesterday I was just really like doing stuff around the house, like deep cleaning stuff that I needed to do that I haven't had time to do. And I was thinking, like, I think that feeling of loneliness is just going to be part of my like life journey. And I do think sometimes that just like comes from like, I could be surrounded with people and I could be connected, but I for whatever reason, like, I just struggle with that feeling. Like, I'm not, like, connected enough or I don't know, but I was just thinking about that when I was doing, like, the deep cleaning stuff and, like, oh, see, like, the kids are all back in school. I have, like, more time now. I could be, like, connecting with people. Um, but then part of me felt like, but this, like, right now is making me happy too. Like, doing
Right.
this is, like, making me feel like, okay, I'm getting to all the things that, like, I haven't had time to do, and
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I struggle with feeling like, "Oh, is that part of my issue?" That, like, okay, like, am I not prioritizing my time with other people enough? Am I just, like, prioritizing my duties? But if I'm focused on prioritizing myself and I'm doing something that makes me happy, even if it's not in connection with other people, then, like, maybe still, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that even make sense? Like, it's just like I
Yeah. Sarah, you kind of lit up a little bit around it. Like when I see that, I mean, like you're like, it feels really good to get this stuff done that I've wanted to get done. Like I feel good in my house. Like what does that need to be wrong?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I think that's just like that internal battle like that I have
Yeah.
is that like, oh, I should be now the kids are gone. I should be like, making coffee dates and like doing that. And not that I don't do
Right.
those things, but it's like, yeah, these things have been on my to-do list for months, and I just like I
Yeah.
do want to get them done and I feel like, yeah, that's okay to want to get that done too.
Yeah. So what might happen if you stop fighting yourself on this and stop shooting all over yourself?
I just think that would bring me more peace. Yeah.
Okay. So
Mhm.
when that shows up, it's not wrong, Sarah. You've had a lifetime of shitting on yourself and like making yourself wrong, right?
Mhm.
Because whatever we pair our choice with, so your choice is I'm going to catch up on these projects that I've been put on my list for months. But if you pair it with I should be doing this, I should be connecting with others. I now you've put all of these like guilt and I don't know, what other feeling would you say that is? Like when you're shoulding, like you should be doing these things. What is that?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, guilt and just like the kind of like reiterating that like thought of like, oh, see, it's like you're never like enough. Like you should have already like had all this
Yeah.
done, or like you should be, but I truly was like, yeah, this is making me happy right now. Like I'm feeling good. And like at the end of the day to be like, wow, I like finished. I don't know, it was just like random stuff like sweeping all the spider webs off the exterior of the house, like just crap that needed to get done.
Yeah. So just notice if you're pairing the choice of like getting the shit done or whatever else you feel called to do, whether it's reading, whatever that is. Notice if you're pairing it with guilt or like it's never enough or any of those stories. And that's your invitation to be with it. Like be with it and be like, oh, I love you, brain. And I'm really happy. This is actually meeting me. Like do the muse method and then like remind your brain because your brain is just doing what it's been doing.
Mhm.
And then you give your brain that task of, oh, just be curious as to what shows up by me listening and honoring what I'm choosing right now.
Mhm.
And now your brain's directed to that as opposed to you should be doing this. You're never enough. Because it's going
Mhm.
to keep adding, it'll create more of those stories, right?
Mhm.
Because whatever you think about or whatever you focus on, we feed. You're feeding what you don't want.
Mhm.
And it's taking away your peace from what you said and maybe some of the happiness.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that is like I think that's just been a part of my life for so long, like that negative, like
Yeah.
negative self, like talk, like just like the feed is like constantly going.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, it totally does interfere with my enjoyment of whatever the experience is at that time.
Yeah. And Sarah, it's not, you're not doing anything wrong. Your brain has been designed, programmed to do it this way.
Mhm.
But now you have enough evidence that that doesn't work.
Mhm.
So when your brain starts to go in that negative, that downward spiral, like burying Sarah and Sarah's peace and Sarah's joy and her happiness, you're like, I
Mhm.
love you, brain. I know you're trying to help me. This isn't helping. You have
Mhm.
plenty of evidence that you could pull from. Remember when I did that here? I felt like shit. And then I was super like depressed the next day. And then you're like, but remember when I listened and how much happier I felt? Okay, brain, I'm going to keep you safe.
Mhm.
Just notice what happens just notice what happens in my body when I follow what I'm being called to do.
Mhm. Yeah. That is would be huge because if I could get to a point where I could accept and support the things that I chose just like I do for everybody else, I truly do think that I would feel just yeah, better. I mean, who wants to have all that negativity in their life all the time? And I'm the one creating it.
And it's just autopilot. It's on autopilot. That is your known way of being. It's not wrong.
Mhm.
But what you're doing is you're like, I don't want to, go on autopilot anymore. I want to actually drive. I want to actually fly. It's more
Mhm.
fun when I can actually take the wheel and like be present to everything that's here.
Mhm.
And shit, there's another road bump. Oh crap, we hit some turbulence. Yep, that's part of life too. you're going to hit it even if you're on autopilot, right?
Mhm.
So it's you just saying yes to all of it and not making it wrong.
Mhm.
Because there's enough of you making yourself wrong already on autopilot. So we're going to just, whenever it shows up, it's, you're just being like, oh, that's interesting. There we go again. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Does that feel like something, does that practice resonate with you to like
Yeah.
start incorporating that?
Uh-huh.
What do you think that could do for you if you just were able to take a moment to be with it and then maybe have that conversation with your brain? What could that do for you?
I think just make my experiences more enjoyable, honestly, because truly I feel like that is what I did yesterday. Maybe not like in the same way as what like you just demonstrated, but like I was cleaning and I started having those thoughts and I'm like, yeah, but this right now is making me happy. So like there's nothing wrong with it.
Awesome.
So I think I was not like thinking intentionally about doing that, but I just was, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I guess making it more intentional when I do start to, yeah, when like have those like intrusive thoughts or whatever, like
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, it just would bring about more awareness too. Cause I think sometimes you have, or like I have those thoughts and they just become reality. And I don't really like spend the time being um, aware of the fact that like those thoughts are like being, like I'm allowing them to kind of like influence me and how I feel.
I want to celebrate all of that, Sarah. You did it yesterday. In your
Mm
own way, you did it. And you
hmm.
kind of shifted everything to just allow yourself to receive the joy that was in the moment of catching up on all of those projects.
Mm hmm.
It's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw this like, okay, so this a friend of mine on Facebook is part of this like women's group. I think it's called like WDNC, like we do not care. But it's just women posting stuff. And it's like so many posts a day that I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like too much. But I have found like some joy in that because I feel like it's really relatable to what we're talking about right now. And that like we get, especially as like women, we get to like a certain age where it's like we just like don't care as much to continue to like fulfill all of those um I don't know, norms and like pressures and stuff that get put on us. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, like some of the people post about stuff like, I don't care that one woman posted yesterday, like, I don't care that I like to um, surround myself with things that bring me peace and happiness in my life at this stage. And if that means that a lot of the times, like, I spend time alone, I'm okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And I was thinking, like, yeah, it's just coming to accept that, like, I can accept me for like what I want to do and like who I am without always like putting all this pressure on myself.
Yeah. Well, and that what I'm hearing in you, Sarah, is what I've heard you, the threads from what I've heard you say about your parents.
Mhm.
That you're like kind of cutting those threads and saying, I'm done with that. Like that did not support me. Hiding my tattoos, hiding myself, that's not supporting me.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to keep doing that.
Mhm.
And you're doing it in the little ways at home to like create more happiness and peace for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like living so close to my family, that kind of like separation is going to be like a continuous struggle, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do think it's gotten easier,
Yeah.
to say like, no, I like don't want to participate in that, or,
Yeah.
not giving people like the emotional power.
Yeah. I've seen a shift in you since we've been working together. With
Mhm.
your ground with your family.
Mhm.
So it's getting easier. So I'm not saying it's not going to be hard, but it's all about the way we think about it. So you're like, well, it's getting easier. I'm not saying it's not hard, but it is
Mhm.
getting easier. So you're like, I'm just going to focus on it's getting easier. It's going to keep getting easier because honestly, the more you are true to yourself, the easier it will be for you to be true to your family,
Mhm.
be all of you in whatever way that's safe for you. Because I can't be all of me with my family, but I have ways of being honest and true to me.
Mhm. Yeah, I like how you said that, yeah. Because I do feel like sometimes people think that, like, oh, you're being like, it's fake if you're, like, hanging out with these people and you're like, all of you doesn't enjoy being with them, but I'm like, "Yeah, but I can, like, take from like, I can put out the parts of me that I am comfortable with and, like, enjoy things with them without, like, fully being, like, 100% invested in this, like, relationship or these dynamics."
And to me, what you're doing is you are being true to yourself. Because if you were to be like all of you, like how you show up with me, I don't know how they would respond.
Mhm.
They might shut you down. They might be like, that's way too much, whatever it is. So what I hear you saying is you're just a lot like you're being honest with who they are. And you're
Mhm.
not willing to give yourself to people that aren't capable of receiving all of you anymore.
Mhm.
Does that resonate?
Yeah. I think in their mind, like, their perception is that though, like, that I have disconnected myself from the family and that it's me, which I'm like, "Okay, I mean, I guess that's, like, par for the course, like, of course, like, it's me," without, like, recognizing, like, how have we gotten to this point, you know? But,
Yeah.
and then I think, like, I struggle with that, like, "Oh, is it just, like, me? Is it in my head? Like, is it just my perception of things?" But I'm like, "No, come on, I've had a lifetime of this, it's not."
Mm-mm. Well, to be real, Sarah, it is you. You aren't as small and controlled as you were before.
Mhm.
So much more expansive. And they're like, I don't know what to do with you. Awesome.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
is you. You're more in your power and before you weren't.
That's true.
And anybody that's going outside of what we've known, that's what happens is they're like, what's wrong with you? You've changed a lot. Yeah, you're right. I have.
Mhm.
Thank you for noticing.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I yeah. I mean, I can't change the way things are with them. I can only change myself. And I definitely have changed and it will just be like a continual like work in progress. But yeah, I'm happier with how things are now.
Yeah. And when things arise, we can talk through so you have more practices so that you can keep standing in your power.
Mhm.
Because when we're in moments with family, I'll speak from my experience and illustrate that we revert back to like our child self and we're like, we what the hell just happened?
Mhm.
Not like anything intentionally happened. It's just that's how we learn to operate and things happened in our lives that activate us that come back up in just a moment something they say something they do something whatever it is and we go right back to our child self and we're like wait I no no mm-mm. That's not it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that is like totally true. Yeah, it's crazy how you can like go from being like a fully independent, like well-functioning middle-aged person to yeah, feeling like yeah, like, that's why I'm like, yeah, I just have to I don't often like the way I feel after I leave being with my family. I don't like the way I feel about myself, so that's why it's just healthier for me to not be
Yeah.
as invested with them, and, I wasn't there for, like, 4th of July up at the lake with everybody, which I know was, like, an issue, but, um and then I had talked to my dad about, um, helping with the 2 younger kids over this, like, upcoming, like, Labor Day weekend. Because in the past, he had said, like, "Yeah, I really wanna help, like, at least, like, a couple times a year so you can, like, have some time for yourself," and so I had asked, but again, I'm not gonna be up at the lake, so he was, like, didn't say he was upset, but he was like, "No, yeah, I can't help, like, like, we have this, and this, and, like, I can't help," so then I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." So I was figuring out, like, alternative plans, and, now he is gonna be taking them over this weekend, which I think he, like, af after he, like, settled down and, like, let that go, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can totally, like, take them," and I was like, "Oh, I mean, I wasn't planning on that, like, that's great. Wow, okay. Thank you." Um, so I appreciated that, and, like, I get that it's just I think he was, like, operating out of, like, a place of hurt and, like, "No, I'm not gonna help because, like, I'm hurt that you are not, like, prioritizing spending time with the family," but, um so I guess I'm just, like, in a place where I really appreciate the fact that he is taking them, and I understand that I mean, he's also human, and so I think he was
Yeah.
just hurt and was like, "No, I can't help," and I was like, "Okay." I mean, that hurt me actually at the time because 'cause I'm like, yeah, the I have so few people that I feel like I could even ask for help, and when I ask and then I get rejected, I'm like, yeah, it makes me not even wanna ask.
Right.
Um, and when I was taking my son to Iowa last week, for like months, my dad had been saying, like, "Oh, we'll help with the kids, we'll help with the other kids." And, I know there's like a lot on your plate. And it was the other kids' first day of school. So he was like, "Oh, I really want to, somebody to be there when they get home from their first day of school. So your mom and I will be there and we'll take them to dinner. And so that way they have somebody to like share in the first day with." And then like a week before, he was like, "I totally like flubbed the schedule. Like we actually have plans with friends and we can't do it." And I was like, and I said, honestly, it doesn't even like I had never planned on anyone helping anyway, so, I mean, I appreciated the help, but, like, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, the kids are not, like I mean, they're not in kindergarten anymore, so I said, "When you get home, like, just call me and let me know how your day was," and I asked my daughter that's a senior to, like, make dinner and,
Yeah.
um but I'm like, I was let down, but I'm like, it just is what it is. And then they called me on my drive home and they're like, "Well, who's putting the kids to bed?" I'm like, themselves. I mean, there is nobody else."
Right. Okay, this is really huge, Sarah. Another thing I want to acknowledge is you advocated for what you needed for this weekend, and you gave your dad the space to respond, not from his hurt, from a place of support and love.
Mhm.
So in his way, he did what he did, and you felt your feelings too, and you let
Mhm.
go of any expectations that you might have support, and then you were supported.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
you had the contrast also of him like, yeah, I got you. And then actually we made plans with friends. All right, fine. The kids will figure it out. They're old enough. Like
Mhm.
weren't attached to the outcome.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, I just gotta like let go at some point. Like, yeah, am I feeling bad that like I'm not gonna be home when they get home from school? Yes, but also like, I mean, in seventh and fifth grade, it's kind of like, first day of school is like not that exciting anymore. And
No.
I can only do so much. And I know my son, when I was moving him before like a few days before, he was like, "Well, are you gonna like be able to stay or are you just gonna like have to leave right away?" And I was like, "Oh no, like I'm gonna stay and like help you unpack." And I mean, he was moving into an apartment. So that's way
Wow.
more of an undertaking than like a dorm, like we actually had to like get dishes and the whole like shebang. But I'm like, it's just gonna be what it is, and I said to the kids, like, "I'll be home at 9." Yeah, no, I wasn't. I was home at, like, midnight. It just took way longer than we thought it would, and they were fine. Yeah. I mean, obviously, the older kids were here, but, like, yeah, everybody was totally fine.
Right. And you gave your daughter the space to step up and help you out and make dinner for the kids.
Mhm.
And you were present to be with your son as he's in a major life transition of like moving into his first apartment. Like,
Mhm.
cool. And
Yeah.
you weren't like guilty. Maybe there was moments of guilt. I'm not saying there weren't, but you just allowed yourself to be there and be like, nope, this is where I am.
Mhm. And you know what, like, at any moment, their dad could have said, "Oh, I know you're going to Iowa, like, I can pick the kids up," and I'm like, "I'm not asking," you know, like, he could say, "Hey, oh, it's the first day of school, I know mom's not gonna be home, like, I can come take you guys to dinner," but, like, whatever, I mean, he just doesn't he didn't think of it, so,
Yeah.
um yeah, I felt good about it. I mean, honestly, like I didn't actually feel guilty when I was there. I like put together the whole agenda. I texted it to all the kids,
Yeah.
said like, "Call me when you get home, tell me about your first day," that sort of thing, and I had everything set up for them. So I'm like, I just yeah, it's important for me to prioritize the son that was, moving there because as the second kid, I feel like he's definitely I mean, he just hasn't gotten as much attention. There's too many other little kids, you know?
Right. You were very honest with your energy. You didn't try to split yourself trying to be home and there. And you
Mhm.
supported them. They were still supported. They knew that you had their back. Their dad, who
Mhm.
knows? We don't know where he's at. He's doing his thing. They knew you had their back because you asked them, I care. I want to hear about your day.
Mhm.
You took care
Yeah.
of things
Mhm.
and you were supported. Yeah, go ahead. There was something there.
It was actually a thought not related to this, so we should finish this, but no, I just it was with their dad so when my dad said he couldn't help with the kids, I begrudgingly reached out to their dad and said, like, "I really need you to take the kids on Saturday night," and, he things between us have been, like, positive lately, but with that comes him crossing boundaries and constantly texting me and being like, "Oh, I can't stop thinking about you," and like, "Oh," like, just yeah, totally, like, totally crossing boundaries, and I don't acknowledge them ever, which then
Ah,
finally this past, like, a couple days ago, I did because 'cause I'm like, we have to, like, stop this because 'cause I'm like, maybe the best way to deal with this is, like, not acknowledge it because I don't wanna give him any, like, attention, like, negative or positive about this to, like, encourage this behavior. So he texted me again on Monday and said something like, "Oh, yeah," when I had asked him if he could take the kids that Saturday night, he's like, "I'm gonna be at a concert," and, like, whatever. So but he said, You should come. You're welcome to come anytime. You should come sometime, but don't bring your kids." Like, meaning, like, yeah, come and, like, hook up, and I was like didn't acknowledge it, didn't acknowledge it. So then Monday, he texted me again and said something to, like, the same effect, and I finally was like, "Okay, this has to stop," you know? Like, why
yeah,
are we things are actually positive between us, like, let's leave it at that. Just because they're positive doesn't mean I wanna hook up or I wanna get back together. Like, why are we even so then I just texted him and I said, "I think for us to, like, maintain a healthy relationship, we really should all of our interactions and, like, messages should be" I think I just said, like, "on the up and up," like, I was like, "Just, like, keep it, like, professional." Like, as like, um, I don't really even know what his response was, to be honest. It was kind of, like, mixed, I guess. But I thought, like, I am just gonna address this because I can't me
yes.
ignoring it is not, like, helping anything. I mean, clearly, it's not stopping it.
No, but by you acknowledging it, something shifted.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
I mean, so
And
at least something shifted for me, we'll see how long it lasts for him to not
yeah. Well, that's really all that matters, Sarah.
Mhm,
When you were denying it, it didn't make it less true. It just it kept getting the feeling of like it grossed you out anytime you'd go there with it.
mhm.
It's like, really? What the hell?
I know, and why does it have to it's just like I was let down because I thought, "Oh, like, we've worked hard to, like, get to a positive place."
Right.
But
Mm,
like, I think his, like, understanding of a positive place between us is, like, very warped and, like, compared to mine. Because 'cause I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I still recognize that, like, you don't help financially support the kids or physically or emotionally support the kids. But like I've also just come to accept that things are how they are, and I don't want to like have continued negative like interactions because it's draining. But that by no means is like a green flag for any of this behavior.
No. And what if by you just even what you said, let's keep it on the up and up, kind of professional. That was you starting to create a place of honoring Sarah, of like, this is not okay. I am drained anytime I have to, because you said you begrudgingly reached out to him
Mhm.
because something in you knew this might happen again. He might cross the line
Mhm.
and it's not okay. Like something in you is so different now that you're like, I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to just not acknowledge it. I'm going to say something because it doesn't make it go away. He thinks
Mhm.
it's okay by you not acknowledging it. He's like, oh, she's okay with this. Even if she doesn't say anything, it's clearly okay.
Mhm. I just like that is frustrating to me. I mean, it's kind of like back to the guy from the gym that I said, like, please leave me alone, please leave me alone. And then, like, but then don't say anything for long periods of time. And then it just gets worse. And then I say something and then it gets better and then it gets worse. I mean, now it's been many, many months since I got the staff involved, but
Right.
I just feel like it's the same. Like, I don't know what it is with men and like yeah.
Well, I wonder because you just said I don't know what it is with men putting the power outside of you. I wonder if it's something what is it in you that is allowing them to think that they can do that?
Hmm. I guess I just continue to feel like, oh, this isn't worth like the
Oh,
conflict, like I don't want to have conflict. And so it's easier and like safer, I guess, to just kind of like ignore it until it gets like too much. And then I'm like, okay, I have to like address this now.
so it's easier and safer to not start conflict. I'm putting that in air quotes.
Yep.
Um, because I'm wondering, is there an internal conflict happening when that comes through?
Hmm. I guess my thought, like when those situations are happening is like I just feel like, okay, like here we go again, like I just want to have like a normal like relationship with a male that I can count on that is like does not have to be like sexually based,
Yeah.
you know? Like why can't our interactions just be like what they're supposed to be?
Uh-huh. So, but by you ignoring it to not have conflict because it feels easier and safer, it's you didn't say this, but what I'm hearing is an internal conflict is happening of like, fuck, here we go again.
Mhm.
And like, I mean, I guess this is here and I'm just going to keep doing me and I'll just ignore it.
And I guess it starts to feel like, oh, this is just like normal. I mean, this is just how it always is.
Ah,
This is like, yeah, how it always is with men.
would you like something different?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to just have I mean, I like our marriage is over. It's been over for a long time and like he's just one example of like many men, but it's like I just wish that I mean, I'm showing up to our interactions and I wouldn't even say it's co-parenting, me raising our kids and he being around occasionally. Like I'm showing up like I'm supposed to, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Why can't he do the same? But then it's just like, yeah, I guess in any situation, that's how I like often walk away feeling
Okay, cool.
with yeah.
Would you
Mhm.
like to start choosing something different?
Mhm.
Because what if, because you're saying it's not just with your ex-husband, it's with the guy at the gym. There's other people in your life that you're like, come on, are you fucking kidding me? Like, can't we just interact as beings and not like go sexual about things?
Mhm.
But what if because you believe this is how it always is, it's normal, that's actually keeping the space open for that to continue to happen?
Mhm. Okay, that's fair.
So what if you started to be like, I'm not going to allow that anymore? Because no is a complete sentence. No,
Mhm.
no, I will not tolerate that. That's not okay.
Mhm.
Because to me, when we look at conflict, maybe putting a different spin on it for you would be supportive, because conflict for you is keeping the peace at all costs, no matter what it causes harm for you in.
Yeah.
So what if conflict is actually carefrontation?
Okay.
So you're being very caring, first and foremost for yourself by having this carefrontation rather than confrontation. You're
Mhm.
being very caring because when we honor one, we honor all. So when you're saying, no, this is not okay, we are co-parenting, even though he said, yeah, you can come, just leave your children at home. I'm like, your children,
Mhm.
our children.
Mhm.
It's a fucking responsibility, pardon my French, but come on.
Mhm.
You mean our children?
Mhm.
Like, it's simple things like that where we can start to invite them to take responsibility.
Mhm.
It's not yours. So rather than saying, this is what always happens, this is normal. No, it's not. This is not
Mhm.
okay. And rather than continuing to just like let it go, ignore it, anytime it arises, you're being invited to deeply honor Sarah.
Mhm.
Because you could literally, like the guy at the gym is the one I'm using. No, he comes towards you. No, walk away.
Mhm.
Don't have to say anything more
Mhm.
because you already know that person was going to keep crossing your boundaries. He was going to keep
Mhm.
not honoring you.
Yeah. And
So,
I do have to say, like, it being 5 months now since he's reached out or we've had any sort of, like, interaction, it's way better going to the gym. Like, I mean, and sometimes, like, he's there and, like, we never
awesome.
yeah, like, there's no interaction, like, he looks the other way. I'm like, "Yeah, this is great." I don't even have to think about it. Yeah.
So there's your evidence.
Mhm. And I
You
mean, that did take me, like, a long time to get to that point, and yeah, I should have just done it way earlier because it was like, yeah, I mean, he wasn't listening to me, just me saying no, so I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna get, my other people involved to say, like, this needs to stop."
right. And you honored what was for you in those moments, Sarah. You were doing the very best you could. And you gathered a lot of evidence from that experience of if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Mhm.
And the more that you could tell, because you're what I hear in you is you're starting to believe people and what they're showing you they're capable of. Your ex-husband.
Mhm.
It's not wrong. He's just not capable and he's going to keep trying to bring that in because he thinks he can.
Mhm.
And the more you keep standing up for yourself and fiercely like honoring you and your being as the value that you bring to the world, the more others will.
Mhm.
Because you said, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But what I heard in that is that you're expecting him to treat you how you treat, like how your
Mhm.
people treat you, how they treat themselves.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, then I think, like, is that true? Do people treat like others like they treat themselves? Because I feel like I do treat others like kindly, but then I don't treat myself like that. So I guess I'm not good at that. Like, because I feel like I do
Hmm,
listen and honor and like support, but like, why do I not do that for myself?
that's a great question. What is stopping you from doing that for yourself?
It's just like, yeah, the negative for whatever reason. Yeah, that just like the negative view I have on myself, I guess, that just is always there that I just feel like I'm always like battling with.
Mm,
Sometimes it's louder than others, and sometimes I'm like, no, like I am, like I'm a great mom, and I'm, like all the positives that I can say. But then, yeah, there are other times where it's just like, yeah, it's there.
yeah. So rather than trying to give your brain a bunch of bullshit because you're saying, I'm a great mom, I'm this. And your brain's like, yeah, yeah, but do you hear this loud voice over here?
Mhm.
So rather than trying to combat the loud voice, because it's going to win every time,
Mhm.
you can just start to be with it. When you notice that's happening, do the muse method. What is your message for me? Because it's here. What I hear it saying is, I want you to freaking appreciate me and honor me. So I'm going to beat you up because that's what I've done your whole life.
Mhm.
So it's doing it in a way that isn't actually supporting you.
Mhm.
So it's starting to be in relationship to that inner bully and saying, I see you, I love you, and I want to start to be kind to myself.
Mhm.
Because the moment that you ignore it or don't acknowledge it, you're not being kind to yourself. You're minimizing what you're experiencing. And you're like, oh God, there they go again.
Mhm.
Rather than being like, no, this isn't okay.
All right. Yeah. No, I like that because it is true. Like I could say all those positive things, but yeah, at the end it will always be like, yeah, but, there's always a but. Uh-huh.
And do you know what but stands for?
No.
Behold the underlying truth.
Okay.
So yeah, but whatever follows but is the truth. So what follows but for you?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I mean, it's just all that I like, yeah, but you're still like not good enough or whatever. And actually, I haven't heard it said that way, but I have heard people say, like, yeah, when you're talking to somebody and they say like a whole thing and then they say, but it's really just everything after the but is what they really mean. They're just like prepping you before,
Correct.
which,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Mm hmm.
And it's not wrong.
Mm hmm.
Sarah, that's what got you to this point. You were taught as a very young child that you must keep the peace and manage everybody else's emotions and their stuff first. That is the priority.
Mm hmm.
Now you're starting to take back your power and say, I am the priority. I am going to stay connected to myself because I matter,
Mm hmm.
which is putting you in a different position altogether.
Mm hmm.
Going to make everybody else uncomfortable because they've had a lifetime of you taking care of them.
Mm hmm.
And they're not going to like that you're not doing that anymore or ignoring it or denying it. They're like, what the F? Now she's calling me on my shit. Yep, this is me.
Mm hmm. Okay.
That
Yeah.
land.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's you're being kind to yourself the more you can stand up for yourself and have your own back.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just yeah, I think it's like getting comfortable with like a new way of being. And
Yeah,
even like an example of like a minimal conflict that was on my mind for like the rest of the day was that day I took my son to Iowa. So I had to drive the younger kids to school in the morning to their separate schools. And there was like a lot on my mind, right? Like I got to drive them to school and then like we're supposed to be on the road at 8:15 and just a lot. So but I didn't feel like I was, like, stressed yet, it was just like there was, like, a lot to do, and I went to drop my daughter off at school, so she was the second one to drop off, and they, like, had a totally different format for the drop off for school, and it just, like, caught me off guard because I was like, "Oh, last year when I dropped her off, you just, like, pull up you're on, like, the main road, and you just, like, pull up and you stop in front of the school, and then they get out." But this time, I guess they had, like, cones, and you were supposed to, like, pull into, like, the parking spots and then pull back out. Well, so I just, like, was a lot, and I was like, "Oh, this is, like, totally different," and there wasn't, like, a sign or anything, and I was, like, confused about what was happening. So, the one lady was started yelling at me and, like, swinging her hands, and, like, the first lady was kind of, like, yelling, and then the second lady who was in the area where I ended up pulling up, she was, like, yelling, and I actually got, like, pissed, and I felt like then later I regretted it, and I was like, "Oh, I should have had more control," but I rolled down my window, and I'm like, "You know, this is a new, like, setup, so I didn't know what to do, and I just feel like," and she's like, "Oh, no, 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 like, you're good, like, we're trying to figure it out this out together," um and then I was just like, "Okay," and she's like, "Have a great day," or whatever, and I didn't say anything, and I just left, and I later did regret it, but I was like, there was just, like, no reason for that, and, like, it's a first day, and, like, you're
Yeah,
yelling at me, and, like, normally, I just feel like I wouldn't have done that, so I was like, "Oh, I'm surprised I, like, even did that," and it wasn't like I was like, "What the fuck? Like, you fucking bitch," or anything. I was just
right,
like, I mean, I wasn't, like, irate or anything. I just rolled my window down. I'm like, "This is, like, a new setup." Like, I just feel like, "Whoa," like, this was and you're yelling at me. Um,
right.
and then she was like, "No, no, like, it's okay. Like, we're figuring this out," or whatever, but I'm like, "Okay." I mean, I stood up for myself, and she was just like, "Oh, yeah." I think she recognized that, like, she was being, like, a little out of control.
Yeah,
Um So after I left that, like, when I was driving, like, back from Iowa, I was like, did I do the wrong thing? Should I not have done that?"
mm,
Like, and that was like a minimal conflict, and it was like somebody I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know who that woman is.
right. You may
Um,
never see her again.
yeah. But then I was like, like, there was nothing. I mean, I don't feel like I did the wrong thing by being like, you know, you really have like no right to be yelling at me like that.
Right.
And I was under control when I did it, but yeah, I mean, it's just hard to even have that kind of conflict. It was uncomfortable, but
Okay, so can we, since this came in and it was a small thing, is what you said, it was a small thing, but to me, it was actually a big thing because
mhm,
all things small, when you can do it in the small ways, you can start to do it in all ways.
mhm,
So you stood up for yourself. You stayed in your power. You weren't like F you and like meeting her with anger. You were like, I don't understand what to do. This is a whole new thing. Like you just stood your ground. But then
mhm,
what I heard later in the day when you were driving, probably alone and with your thoughts,
mhm,
regret showed up. So let me
mhm.
ask you, did you do something wrong by kind of just saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. This isn't clear. Did you do anything wrong?
I feel like I didn't do anything wrong with that, but I guess I could have rolled on my window and been like, "Oh, like, I'm so sorry," like, just didn't like but then
No.
I feel like I feel like that's what I always do.
Right.
Like,
I
I'm
was
to blame.
right. So I'm curious if, because you said it was really uncomfortable standing
Mhm,
up for yourself. So I'm wondering if what showed up later in the day was the discomfort of honoring you and not apologizing and placating and keeping the peace like you would.
mhm, mhm.
Oh, hell yeah. Welcome to choosing you and sitting in
Yeah,
the discomfort of choosing you after a lifetime of putting everyone else's needs above your own and forgetting yourself.
mhm. That's totally, like, real, yeah, and I know that's what the issue is. It's like
Yeah.
I'm so used to functioning how I have been, so I wanna just keep my comfort level, like,
Yeah.
optimal comfort level, but
Yeah.
to do that, I can't change, and I wanna change so I can feel better, so
Right.
I recognize that I have to, like I won't always feel comfortable. And even, like, sending that text to my ex-husband and being like, "Yeah, like, we can't do this." Like,
Right.
"This isn't healthy." Um,
Mhm.
and even though it was, like, uncomfortable in the moment, it was like it needed to happen. So, yeah, I know it's just gonna be, like, an adjustment to accepting that I'm gonna have those moments of discomfort to, like, make the change, but
Yeah. And if you want, Sarah, message me and celebrate with me. I stood up for
Mhm.
myself. I did the hard thing and I'm sitting in the discomfort now. It's nothing because this is really fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is
Mhm.
really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I guess what I knew what was gonna happen is that I knew I was feeling that on the drive home and I felt uncomfortable, but I knew that by the next day, like,
Yeah.
once my body had time to, like, process it, I was gonna be fine with it. And was totally fine the next day. I was like, yeah, really was nothing wrong with what I did. I mean, I wasn't like irate or like totally crazy. I
Right.
just simply said, like, pointed out, I feel like, yeah, this is like not okay.
Yeah.
And actually, she hasn't been out there again. So I'm like, maybe other people were like, yeah, this isn't the job for you.
Dude. Well, she's just causing more stress for a stressful situation
Hmm.
because you named it. When we're comfortable with something and we're used to doing it one way and then it's totally different. The parking situation was totally different. You're like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do. And now you're getting yelled at. You're like, oh my God, I'm doing it wrong.
Hmm.
That's essentially what you're saying with having your own back.
Hmm.
The cones are now there and you've got to figure out where to go and what to do. Can you do that without beating yourself up in the process? Maybe not at first,
Hmm.
but you caught it. What you named is you caught it in the moment. And you're like, I know I didn't actually do anything wrong. I did keep my cool. I just wanted her to like, that's not okay.
Hmm.
Because we are creatures of comfort and creatures of things being the same, but then nothing changes.
Hmm.
You just said you don't want the same thing. You want something different.
Hmm.
Going to require you to get uncomfortable and do things that you've never done before so that you can be touched by life.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know that's the only avenue. It's the only avenue is to change, and that is going to bring me discomfort. But if I don't want to keep feeling the same, then I have to change things.
Well, let's go the other way. When you
Mhm.
didn't do anything, you kept the peace and you avoided the conflict, apologized for your existence. What did that create inside of you?
I mean, it had to contribute to the feelings that I had of like, yeah, low self-worth and not
Hmm.
being enough. I mean, it had to have. I mean, it's not like it would have.
Yeah.
And I guess just like not recognizing that my feelings have any like validity or priority.
Right. So before, not forgetting about yourself, your feelings, what is going on in you matters. You had a low self-worth and you had the not enoughness
Mhm.
versus this still uncomfortable. It's a different level of discomfort, but you honored you and you stood up for what was right.
Mhm.
And you did it in a way that kept you in integrity with who you want to be in the world.
Mhm.
So are you willing to continue to look for where you're doing that already?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Cool. Because that's what I'm hearing you want to keep choosing more of.
Mhm.
Because there's discomfort either way. You can choose your heart. It's going to be hard. We'll use the workout analogy. It's going to be hard to work out. It's going to be hard on your body if you don't work out and you eat like crap. Either way, it's hard.
Mhm.
It's hard that's going to move you towards what you want in life.
Mhm.
So what you're saying now is I'm going to choose the heart of advocating and honoring myself because no one else has ever done it. No one
Yeah.
else makes me a priority. No one else can support me. So I'm going to choose what that looks like.
Yeah.
And now let's start to see what happens. Because when you did that with your dad, actually, I can take the kids. I'll take them. And then you didn't even have to deal with your ex
Mhm.
and your children.
Mhm.
Face right now, but that's okay.
I was like, you know what, like, okay, I the fact that he said that and that that's how he thinks is like a perfect representation of like what's wrong, but at the same time, I'm like, they actually are like I do think of them as my kids. They're
Correct.
my kids, and like I do yeah, I just feel like all the, things that they accomplish, like, I feel proud of, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's me, not you."
Correct.
So, yeah, but yeah, I mean, he didn't even see anything wrong with saying that, but
Oh, of course he didn't. I have friends that are like, yeah, I'm babysitting. I'm like, they're your children. You can't call it babysitting.
I actually hate that. I
Dude,
hate that. I'm like,
So
"Is that what I've been doing for 30 years? Babysitting?" You
you're
know,
the
it's
mother,
crazy.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is what we're being invited into, is to inviting men to take responsibility. That's very
Mhm,
it's very loving and it's going to be uncomfortable.
mhm,
But by you doing it with your ex, you're also showing your boys that this is how you treat a woman.
mhm,
That you honor her and you respect her. They don't have to know what is happening between you two. They will feel something in you of like, I want to be like, I want a woman that's honoring and respecting of herself.
mhm.
So you don't actually have to tell them anything. You're just showing them through how you show up in the world.
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, that's true.
And that's huge because we need a different generation of men.
Mhm,
We do. We desperately do. Because
mhm,
us women cannot come into our full power until we have men that are connected and showing that they care.
mhm. Yeah, I guess we'll see.
That's all we can do. But all you can do is focus on the kids that are in your house, the children
Yep.
that you raise. That, and when I say that is you focusing on honoring yourself, staying connected to self, and doing the things that honor you, which is going to honor all. Because like last year, you had said, I don't know how I got everything done, but I made time for myself. This I was reading, I went for a walk. I was like, and I still got everything done. I know it's amazing, right?
Mhm,
So keep incorporating those things because you matter, and having your own back and honoring what you need and choosing what that is starts to ripple into everything else.
mhm. Okay.
So what are you taking with you from our time together today?
Um, just a reminder of how, like, positive things have been over the last 3 weeks, and that's a definitely, like, a direct result from me prioritizing myself, so I just wanna continue that. And I guess just recognizing what I know, but I don't always want to accept is that, yeah, I do have to experience those moments of discomfort in order to continue to, like, grow and change, and especially, like, change in the things that I allow and, like, how I interact with others.
Yeah. Can I share what you just said a little bit back to you differently?
Mhm. Yeah.
Moments of discomfort versus what you chose before, a lifetime of suffering.
Mhm.
Just to give your brain that information when it shows up and be like, I don't want to do this. But remember, it's only moments of discomfort. I know the other way. I can't do that.
Mhm.
I got your back. Don't worry. We're going to do
Mhm.
this. That's huge.
Yeah. I like that. I need to remember that, yeah. Because it's not a good way to operate from, like, a place of fear, which is, I think, what's, like, led a lot of my decisions.
Cool. I love that you know that. And we can dive into that more
Yep.
because when we operate from fear, like, probably next week or next time. But when we operate from fear, we create low self worth and not enoughness, as opposed to using fear to move us. Because we're going
Mhm.
to have fear. I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to still have fear, but fear is
Mhm.
energy and empower. So when we
Mhm.
the fear and say, "Oh, I see you. Let's go." It's not like this big scary beast anymore that's like keeping us scared and hiding in the corner. It's like, oh, there you are, let's go.
Mhm.
Now you can use its energy to move you as opposed to hiding from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, that's
Which I
huge.
want. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep doing it then. uh,
Mhm.
okay, so when would you like to meet again? Did you want to like do what rhythm would be supportive for you now that the kids are back at school?
Um, like every other week?
Cool.
We try for that? Yeah.
And then did we want to go back to our regular, which was Tuesdays? I don't know. I just wanted, I know I was traveling this week, so it didn't work.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the week of the 10th. So Tuesday the 9th, which is perfect. Because I actually leave again. Um, so
How
Tuesday,
was Maine?
huh?
How was your trip to Maine?
Oh, it was amazing. I am changed again.
Okay, awesome.
I was with a bunch of matriarchs and elders. It was 180 women, and the men were making us food all weekend. It was really awesome.
Wow. Okay, awesome.
That's the kind of community I'm calling in, reciprocity and symbiosis.
Mhm.
Because yeah, so it was really amazing, and I got to be on my native lineage land, so I was really happy to do that.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, so the September 9th, and what time were you thinking?
Do you want to do? We can do 10, 10:30. Which one works?
10:30.
Okay,
Yeah, 10:30 would be great.
awesome. And then I think yeah, today was the second of the two that you had paid for. Did you want to do then just do another two? Because I think you said it was easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that would be great.
okay. And then what I'll do is I will do a repeating event for every other Tuesday.
Okay.
And I recognize, oh no, I'm back in time. Yeah, I'll be back for the other one on the 23rd. Perfect. So I'll do that and I'll send you a calendar invite for those.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. And then just keep looking for where you are advocating for yourself, where you are honoring yourself in your life. Like just notice where it's happening, even if it's just a little bit, because what we're doing by you just noticing it is you're feeding that because you want more of that. So by you actively looking for it, you're like, I want to keep feeding where I'm doing that with even a little bit more ease. Like I
Mhm.
isn't you doing that with the women at the school.
Mhm.
Okay, how can I do that in all areas of my life? I don't know yet. I don't have to know, but I'm going to start to look for where I'm doing it already.
Mhm.
And then let's just see where it shows up. Oh, and I did want to revisit. Did you come? You were going to look at the qualities or like what you're receiving from Eduardo. Did you do that?
Mhm.
Okay, we can talk more about that next time. But I just wanted to see.
Yeah. I definitely know that, yeah, that ending that relationship is like not ending that relationship is because of fear. Yeah.
Cool.
Which is not a reason to stay in something. But yeah. Mhm.
You're gathering information
Mhm.
that you can choose what is best for Sarah going forward. You get to.
Mhm.
You'll only you are going to know when that will be the right time.
Yeah.
I'm not here to force you to do that. What I'm here to support you in is to not divorce yourself from yourself anymore,
Yeah.
to honor yourself and to learn how to be empowered in what you want to choose.
Mhm.
So you're doing that more and more every day. I hear it.
Mhm.
So if you need to celebrate so that like the regret, like shame, the beat up doesn't like if that's that's where it kind of will go, message me when you do something that's hard and
Okay.
you're advocating for yourself and just celebrate with me because then what you're doing is you're also reinforcing your brain of like look at what happens somebody else is hearing me and seeing me and moving with it like creating this space with me to keep choosing me
Mhm.
because I'm not giving you any answers, Sarah. I'm just gonna be like hell yeah, let's go,
Mhm.
let's keep going.
All right. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'll
Okay.
see you on the 9th. Reach out if you need any support in between now and then I'll run your card probably later this week for the other two sessions.
Okay. Sounds
Thank
good. Thank you.
you so much.
Okay. Bye.